same clip, same joke, same face. Yeah, I'm over it. New tab, new flame, new show, new name. We don't play the same lane, we don't shake the same frame. One night it's cold cases, next night main pages. Headline heat, biggest waves without beat. Hit replay every week, new crew talking, new chair, new host walking. Spin the wheel of what's trending, and say the thing they all defending. But this is no safe tapes, uncensored conversation, unfiltered, unapologetic. We ask every question, true crime, pop culture. What's breaking while you wait? Take a break from the boring. Come get lost in no safe takes, no safe takes, no safe takes. Take a break from the boring. Come get loud with no safe takes.
Hey, hey, hey. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. We got me, Grandma Sherry, and we got
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
I can hear.
Good evening.
Pop, and we got Gavel Geeks tonight.
Hello.
So we should be having all kinds of interesting things we can talk about. Ladies, what are you going to talk to us about tonight? Just a real quick recap.
I will be talking about, to some extent, separating or ability to separate the art from the artist, but with a little type of spin-off on that.
Okay. All right. And Janie?
I will be talking about the monster. Specifically about Jeffrey Epstein and where his money came from.
Where his money came from.
Yeah, I can go ahead and warn you, there's no answer. Even like Forbes and all these big, they can't figure out everything, but it is a super interesting conversation with 9,000 rabbit holes.
Oh, yeah, now I understand that. And I am Grandma Sherry. I'm going to be talking to you about, just real quick, self-diagnosis for neurodivergence. So things like autism, ADHD, Tourette's, DID, that sort of thing. And this is just a convo. It's not a, hey, here's answers. But I don't know, Bobby, did you want to welcome some people in for us?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also want to take a moment too and apologize for us pushing back last night's stream till today. I will take the full blame on that one. I do apologize. So please don't hold it on anyone else. I actually was having a migraine, so I do apologize for that one. But I do want to say hi to those of you that are joining. And also, if you see Grandma Sherry screen doing some funny, it's okay. They hopefully are not taking her this stream either. So I've already been scared once, but I think we're going to be okay. Marlena, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And Mystery, good to see you. Hey, Lady K. Mary Fairy Fly. Tiny. And also, too, I want to just stop and make sure we thank those that were on the replay crew from the last stream. So I may not have the full list here, but I do want to make sure to say Shambles, thank you. We see you here. Also, Sarah, Hope's Echo, Tess Mac. Good job. I saw you on there as well. MFW. Shaylee, Sunnyside, Grandma Sherry. Always the Little Things. Neat Noodle, Stephanie, Mystery, NJ Robin. If I missed you, I apologize, but I do want to thank you no matter what. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody.
Yes. Hey. Yeah. Thank you for watching replay. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you being here. Please make sure to like, because we need to get the channel into the algorithm. And again, thanks for being patient. I'm supposed to be Soup. I wasn't scheduled for tonight, but life happens.
You
Life
look lovely
starts
tonight,
life.
Sue.
Thank you. Actually, I look like shit compared to what I normally look like. Because Soup is beautiful. She's got this gorgeous curly hair, and she's like 1,000 years younger than me. Hi, Allie. Hey, Coffee. Yeah, so thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks for the replay crew. Coffee and Skeletons, Commander Alpha Turkey. I love that name. Always have. Mystery Chick, Oki, Lady K Talks. Thanks for modding tonight, babe. I appreciate that. We're all mods too, so if it gets crazy, then we'll just jump in there. Shally, so happy to see you. So I'm going to start off tonight, and I got to run the disclaimer. If I find it. Here we go. One moment, please.
Everything you hear is a personal opinion of whoever is talking at the moment. Their takes are theirs and theirs alone. Nobody else on the panel is responsible for what comes out of someone else's mouth. We don't share brains, group chats, or legal teams. You may get offended at some point. Please accept our apology now because we will not be issuing individual apologies later. We are not customer support. Nothing you hear on this show is medical advice, psychological advice, legal advice, financial advice, spiritual advice, or advice from anyone who knows what they're doing. If you need real help, please consult a doctor, therapist, lawyer, accountant, pastor, mechanic, or literally any adult with certifications. Not us, never us. Not every topic is for you, and that's okay. Take what you like, leave the rest for someone else. The internet has plenty of other mess for you to enjoy. We encourage adult conversations and respectful discourse in the chat. Debate ideas, disagree respectfully, but don't attack people just because their opinion activated your villain origin story. Also, YouTube gave you a block button for a reason. Use it. It's cheaper than therapy. All right, now that the legal stuff is out of the way, let's get into these unsafe takes.
Boom. Okay. So the FBI van is still sitting out front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off my camera, and then hopefully we won't have the weird glitchy dropping off, all that stuff. And guys, government, okay, I'm not talking about anything weird tonight. You have to wait till gavel comes on, okay?
Gavel's turn. Yeah, it is.
That's right.
I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, and she's gone. Guys, they really took her.
Ah! No, here we go. Bye. Okay, here.
Oh my
God. Back to my bunny. I'm back to my bunny. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So I'm kind of hoping for some input from the people that work like social services and teachers and medical professionals. This is just a discussion because some of you know, some of you don't. I was diagnosed as being high functioning autistic when I was in my 40s. An official professional diagnosis. It took a couple months meeting with different professionals and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, in my 40s. So that was great for me. Okay. Because I've always felt like I've been on the wrong planet. I didn't understand these humans and what they're doing and how they thought and all that other stuff. So once I got my diagnosis, it helped me a lot. Number one, to understand myself, to validate that what I'm experiencing is not unusual, that some of our mental health care professionals were aware of what it was. And then I was referred over to resources. For me, it was cognitive behavioral therapy because of my age. Basically, what I needed to do is recognize my triggers and my social difficulties, and then how I can rethink that to handle social situations better. Because for me, high functioning autism is basically peopling. You know, I go outside, there's too many people. I don't want to be peopling. So because of that, I have had, I guess it's one of my autistic fascinations, but I belong to a lot of autistic groups. For they have children in there. They have late life diagnoses, adults. Just say adults, Grandma. Okay, they have adults that were diagnosed, and so just seeing, what the new research is, what the new thinking is, that kind of thing. And there's something that I've come across that has been intriguing me. Something that's been intriguing me because just like there are neurotypical, by the way, that's what we on the we that are neurodivergent call the normal people. I'm doing air quotes, but I don't have my camera on. But anyway,
the normies.
Yeah, the normies. Yes, they're neurotypical people. That a lot of them figure if you can't see my disability or my developmental challenge, then it's not there. Basically, just suck it up. Don't be such a wiener. If I've had, because this is weird, but after I was diagnosed, it took me about 3 or 4 years to actually, what I call, come out of the closet. First, I told my family, and then my closest friends, and then it got up to the point where I was telling people I worked with and whatnot. And it's not like I'm going to go into the movie theater and go, "Hi, I'm high functioning autistic." But you know what I mean? You hide that for so long, and then you slowly come out as you start to realize that people aren't going to ostracize you. But the one thing that I got so many times that I really wish I got money for it was, "Gosh, you don't look autistic." And I always wondered,
oh my gosh,
what
Really?
yeah, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
I don't look autistic. Right. It's like, what? You don't look like you're from Ohio? I don't know. But anyway, so
What does that look like exactly?
yeah, I don't know.
Very
But,
different if you're from Georgia.
Right, exactly.
tell.
Yes. Oh, you must be from Georgia because you have red hair. I don't know. But
Well, I can
anyway, you don't
understand my
look like,
voice, but because it's
right.
kind of obvious, but for me, but
yeah, but
yeah,
the
by
whole,
look,
the
that's what you're.
whole, you don't look autistic. I always love that one. And if I'm in just snarky enough of a mood, I'm going to ask them, "What does autism look like?"
I was
And
hoping
then
with due time you got comfortable to actually ask that back. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I've had most people go,
Good, as they
you
should
know,
have nothing. Like, oh, that you're right. That was a really
right,
stupid question to ask somebody that would you would say to them. I should say like a statement. It is stupid. I guess
right.
I don't know. Mm.
Yeah. So in my groups that I'm hanging out with and whatnot, I see a lot of complaining about, they're talking about, "Oh, these people are self-diagnosed. They didn't go to a doctor. They just read something or they saw something on TikTok and they've self-diagnosed with autism or they've self-diagnosed with ADHD." And it's even gone into Tourette's, especially now that there's been a focus on that movie that came out. I think it's called I Swear. And it was just in the BAFTA Awards, the British, Oscars. And actually, I think Lady K did a segment on it where
She
he
did.
was, yeah. So there's more Tourette's, and there's a lot of DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, or what people used to call multiple personalities. These are getting really popular with kids because they're seeing these TikToks and, they go and they look at other things. And so my communities are going, "This is ridiculous," because these people aren't formally diagnosed. And so I'm a bunny Bob gave me this bunny, by the way. I'm a bunny because I go down to rabbit holes and I look for stuff. So, what I was looking for was what the medical community says. And, whatever you want to find on the internet, you're going to find on the internet. If I want something to confirm what I'm thinking, I'm going to find it. If I want something to, dissuade me from my thought, I can find that too. So what I try to do is walk down the middle and give an objective and a balanced perspective to what I'm talking to you guys about. And everything we talk about is, up to you. If you're interested in it, I will drop some links at the end, so that you can go look at the articles I've looked at. And just remember that everything I say is true, except for the things that are not true. So,
Grandma Sherry, can I ask you a
Yeah.
question out of
Yeah,
chat real
ma'am.
quick? Okay. So Neat Noodle had asked, is it a disability though? I don't know if it is for you or not. If you have learned to function well, maybe not. Would you consider it a disability according to factually? Is it and or also for you? Do you feel that it may be a disability?
Is it a disability though? I don't know if it is for you or not. And if you have learned to function well, maybe not. Okay, here's the thing with that, Neat. And when you say the word function well, I because in the era that I grew up, okay, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 40. So basically any kind of neurodiverse weirdness like stemming, which is stimulating, it's usually a body movement. Some people it's a vocal tick. It's something like they might go da 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 da, because it kind of takes some of the energy within you and disperses it. Because with me, it feels like I'm a nuclear reactor all the time inside. And it starts in my brain because it's like every synapses I have is firing all at once. And so growing up, I learned to mask it so I wasn't embarrassing anybody in public. And then when I went through my CBT training, it taught me how to focus, how to basically put everything in the background, lower the volume on that, focus on what I needed to do. So, disability, I think it's a superpower, to be honest with you, because and the high functioning autists that I've met are absolutely brilliant people. They're very creative. They're very focused. They're just awesome people. And the one thing that I really love about most autists that I've met is it's difficult for us to lie, because we just have this idea that you're right, telling a story that's not true is something that you have to remember. And on the whole, why would I want to use some of my storage capacity for something like that? So as you meet autistic people, you're going to find that not only do they not lie, but they expect you to be truthful too. And that's maybe part of the disability or the downfall, because with me, I had to learn that not everybody's nice. Not everybody's truthful.
Yeah.
You know where I learned that? Anyone?
No.
Anyone? I learned it on YouTube.
That was going to be my guess.
It's very evident on YouTube. I have to say too, you were talking about, I'm sitting here bouncing my leg, the nervous energy, and I've never been diagnosed, but with anything, I'm just sitting here bouncing. And
I was going to say,
right.
yeah, I was
I
thinking
do it all the
too.
time.
People that they may end up rocking as a way to try to release some of that, and I myself get jittery too. But yeah, rocking is one that I've seen others do. That it's a way to just kind of try to calm themselves down, because there's just way too much stimulation and happening that it's like trying to center themselves and just it's like a calming effect to them, or the best they can. But it is, yeah, the very so she Grandma Sherry said it's like a superpower to her, where you can also see though it's still hard and something that would be a
Yeah.
challenge moving forward. Always being able to kind of put yourself. Sometimes you end up there without your choice, and you're in a position, and you have to find a way to mask and act
Yeah.
like you're normal and normal, what society would say is normal. And so,
Air
That's really
quotes.
interesting that you're talk about it as a superpower. I was just listening to Gavin Newsom, who, if you guys don't know, the governor of California. His wife came online and had some things to say. At some point, Gavin had told publicly that he has dyslexia, and my brother does as well. I used to help him study. I would read books to him, try to teach him how to read, and help him prep for tests and stuff. Um, and she said the same thing because um, the president said he was dumb because of that.
Yeah.
Literally said that publicly, and that's why his wife said something. And I think the way she explained it was that the work you have to do to overcome that
Mm-hmm.
makes you stronger in many ways. And I see that with my
It does.
brother for sure.
Yeah.
And sorry to veer off a little bit, but that's what it made me think of because there's been a lot of discussion with my family and friends this week about that. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Tess Mac, can someone please let me know what the topic are currently discussing? Thank you. Yes, right now I'm discussing self-diagnosed neurodivergence, so autism, ADHD, things like Tourette's and DID, dissociative identity disorder. And a lot of the groups that I'm in, people are kind of pissed off because after seeing TikTok videos and things like that, there seems to be a lot of younger people, teenagers, young adults, who have adopted the fact that they have autism or they have DID. That's a very popular one right now because evidently their alters are these anime characters, and so they're all henny penny the sky is falling about it. And so I went to look to see what I love the National Institute of Health, and primarily because I love the movie The Secret of Nim.
Oh wow! I forgot about that movie. Oh wow!
Mrs. B, you got a sparkly. So anyway, these other people are saying, they're just saying that they're autistic or they're this for attention, and they're doing it to cover up shitty behavior. They think they could just spout off or do whatever, and they could blame it on the autism, or they could blame it on an alter for DID, or that sort of thing. And so as I was looking, I found in the National Institute of Health, they actually kind of encourage self-diagnosis. Surprise! Hopefully this link works, but here. They're talking about when somebody figures, like, it might be your child, he's not focusing correctly. I can't get him to keep still. He's not speaking like the rest of the children. Oh, thank you, Gavel Geeks. He's not speaking like the other children. It doesn't seem to be whatever. And then you take him to your general practitioner, who then starts to do some diagnosis. And unfortunately, with things of the brain, doctors, even though they might specialize in things like autism, they really don't know. They're just now starting to get empirical evidence, or like imaging results and things like that show different synapses in the brain that work differently and how this is going on. So autism is still kind of a mystery. And honestly, in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, the DSM, it wasn't until about the mid 80s that the DSM, and that's the book that all the doctors use when they're going to diagnose you with something mental. Okay. So in the DSM, it wasn't until the 1980s that they removed the word schizophrenic off the end of autism. So,
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, but the National Institute of Health was saying that because you go through your GP and then they have to refer you to like a neurologist or a psychologist or somebody specially trained in neurodiversity, then you could be misdiagnosed. You could be given like medications that actually cause harm. And there's a word for that. That's called an iatrogenic injury, which is a harm or damage caused by a medical treatment, healthcare intervention, or a provider's actions. It is unintended, resulting from procedures, medication, or hospital care, not the primary illness. So, for example, surgical errors, drug side effects, hospital infections, treatment-induced injury, or provider-induced injury is what those are. And that's what ends up happening is when they go, oh, well, if you're anxious, here, let's pour all these medicines into you. And if you're having a problem with this, let's try this medication. And Risperdal is a common one for aggression or self-injurious behaviors. Yeah, so
I'd imagine it falls in line. Sorry, I imagine it falls in line with sometimes there are adverse reactions or attempt to treat, let's say, depression, but in fact, the medicine itself can actually lead to something being final. Is it kind of in regards to that? But instead of it actually being a true diagnosis, it is just made up or suspected even. I won't even put it on people that, because some do it for the attention or different reasons. But is that what you're saying? It's like that, but on a different scale.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because most in the medical profession are basically trained to cover up the symptoms, not to seek out the holistic cause of what's happening in the brain. Let's just put this medication in there and hopefully you'll do. I don't want to hurt her in any way. Being autistic is not a bad thing. I don't want it to come off to her that way. No, being autistic is not a bad thing.
I said the coolest kid, like I've been around in the ages I love, is Tracy's son. He is wonderful. He's like just so good in what you said about like lying, like not being able to lie, and things like that. And he's so smart. I love talking to him.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Oh, my question before that did not show. I have to find it, Marlena.
The other thing about it too is I guess it depends on their sensitivity too. With some that are autistic, they may I'm going to give my brother as an example because that's who I'm referring to, may not deliver. You might have your feelings hurt, and they're just saying what they're thinking. Like they can't lie about it, so they're not going to sugarcoat, and they may not mean to hurt you at all, but that's what they think, and you're going to know. And so growing up with that, you would think I'm, able to handle criticism better, but I think it damaged me a little bit with him because it just there was no sugarcoating to it. So the honesty, I mean, yeah, there's no sugarcoating, that's for sure.
Well, when I was in my 20s and I was out and I was, had a big girl job and whatnot, they gave me the nickname Dragon Lady because I was blunt. And I was, I went through and I trained the office staff, and I was kind of like a middle person between the field staff for cable TV and the office staff. And it was all a team effort. And I actually had a plan to reduce our service call response time So you call in the office and they'll say, okay, we'll be out there 2 Thursdays from now, sometime between 8 and 5. And we were in trouble with the city, so I came up with a plan. I mean, I'm talking within 6 weeks, I had us down into compliance. Not only into compliance, but we were having people send compliments into the newspaper in the mayor's office. But I was mean. I was Dragon Lady. And so the CBT helped me to go through and realize what I need to say and how I can say it a little bit better. But this thing in the NIH is they're saying that it's becoming more and more popular to self-diagnose, especially with autism. The Tourette's thing is in the DID is just, it's out there right now. But with autism, they say it's a good thing because, number one, it cuts down on time. Because going to the specialist, maybe having to go through the misdiagnosis and the medications, and then to get a final diagnosis, and then you're on to resources. And they say, no, if you self-diagnose, and there's a lot of tests online that you can take, it actually gives you that validation that you need, and they say that self-identification is helpful to understanding yourself and to accepting yourself. And then you can move into neuroaffirmative, therapy or care, or finding just groups, because me being with other groups, we have a great time laughing about all the stupid stuff that bothers us, what our pet peeves are, or, I can't stand biting into cherry tomatoes, that kind of thing. So we have a great time getting that kind of support. And so basically, their conclusion is that there's a lack of knowledge about the normal course of neurodiversity among professionals and among the public. So consequently, diagnosis is delayed. And so according is the initiation of the necessary support. And so basically, most of the people that I'm hanging out with say, yeah, if you self-diagnose, welcome, baby. We're here to help you. We're here to walk you through. Nobody is giving medical advice. Commander, what is you saying?
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. Rumi was talking about it depends on the person, because of they've called it a spectrum. I'm not sure that they still call it a spectrum, but it
do
manifests differently in different people. So it's hard to put a label at all on there. It's kind of difficult for me sometimes that it's all called autism. Do you know what I mean? Because it sometimes is so different for some people. Tracy.
Hey. Yeah, it can be controlled. All right. But here's the thing. And because it is so deep, it is a spectrum. It's really hard to just describe it, because you might have a room of 20 people that are all diagnosed with high functioning autism, and there aren't 2 of them that have the exact same type of symptoms. And so most of it is emotional control and presentation in social situations. So Bob says it can be sadly lead to people believing it was their intention to come across harsh or unintentionally hurt feelings. Yeah. And that's just, it's cut to the chase. One of the things I had to learn in leadership training is something called match and pace. Because for me, being in a leadership position, I could walk into your cubicle or your office and I'm going to go, okay, the report that's due next Wednesday, we need X, Y, and Z by Tuesday afternoon. Da, 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 da. You got it? Okay. Bye. And I had to learn to walk in and not freak people out, and say, Hi, how you doing? Did you have a good weekend? Oh, that's a cute plant. Uh-huh. Yeah, about that stuff we need by Wednesday.
The small
Those,
talk. Yeah. It's
yeah,
hard.
those are
Yes.
those those are the kind of things I needed to learn. Against policy at work to disclose autism. No. Well,
By your
okay. If you,
supervisor. Yeah,
yeah,
that mm-mm.
supervisor, yeah, not so much. But like when I came out of the closet to my supervisors and managers, um, we had an agreement that because I had a team of about 10, that, I would talk with them, and what about 5 or 6 of them were in a meeting. So I said, "Hey guys, I just got a thing, and it's not going to change anything the way we work or whatnot, but it's maybe going to kind of help you guys to understand me more, and because I'm starting to understand me more." And then I came out as being diagnosed with autism. Grandma, do you think grouping Asperger's under the umbrella is helpful or not?
Somebody told me the other day they don't, like, Asperger's isn't a thing anymore. Is that true, or were they fooling me? Maybe somebody was fooling me. I didn't look.
No, that's politically correct stuff, because
Oh, okay.
Dr. Asperger, Hans Asperger, was a Nazi doctor who
Oh,
first
did not know
started
that.
noticing, yeah, first started noticing in boys, that have these certain things, and they were interested in that because the high functioning ones were brilliant, and of course, the Nazis wanted to have all of the brilliant scientists and doctors and all that stuff. So Asperger did some really horrific testing with people. So when it first came to be a diagnosis, they called it Asperger's syndrome. And then as it was studied more, then they gave it the first it was just schizophrenic, and then it was schizophrenic autism, and then it was autistic schizophrenia with something.
Oh, wow.
Yo, Sassy, I wish I could read these better. I'm not good
Oh
at
no.
this. But anyway, so a lot of people say, no, don't use the term Asperger's, because of the nasty doctor it's associated with. They prefer
Okay.
HFA, high functioning autism.
Okay.
Yeah. Social cues are something learned with autism from what I've seen. Exactly. Like, what were we playing? Oh, I was with Melissa on Tuesday, and she was doing Mandela effects, and she came up with the Mona Lisa. Is the Mona Lisa smiling or is she not? And it made me feel really uncomfortable for a minute, because one of my autistic traits is that I'm face blind, which means
Oh.
that I don't recognize people by their faces. So
Oh
I'll
wow,
recognize
Grandma
you.
Sherry.
I'll recognize you by your haircut, by your voice,
Well,
sometimes by the way you smell.
I should give you a kitty cat next instead of a bunny. I mean, maybe bunnies do it too, but cats, they don't recognize you by your image, by you. They recognize you by your tone in your voice. And
Mm-hmm.
again, smell, everything you just described. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah,
Oh
you can
I
you
wow.
can
love
find me
that.
a kitty. I love that. But anyway, so yeah, there's and I forgot what we were talking about.
That you are face blind.
Oh yes, I'm face blind. So that's one of my things. As far as social cues and whatnot. Another thing is when you see those tests where there's 9 faces, right? And this is actually part of the diagnosis program for autism. They'll say, point out the face that's angry, point out the face that looks shy, point out the face that looks
I've
embarrassed.
seen that.
I can't do that.
I can't imagine, Grandma. But think of how strong your other skills are around recognizing people, though. Way stronger than mine would be.
Well, and I have a lot of intuition, so I can hear in someone's voice. There's like stress in the voice, there's pitch, there's a lot of different things that I can hear when someone's talking, which came in absolutely perfect when I was doing litigation for insurance companies, because most of the time it was just an interview, or it was like an informal deposition type of thing over the phone. So as I was talking to somebody, I could almost tell when they were lying.
That is awesome.
More.
I wish I had a lie
Yeah.
detector. I'm not good at
Oh,
knowing that people are lying. I'm pretty good at fact checking and research, but
yeah.
not at just knowing that somebody's lying. I have a really hard time with that.
Okay. So Chasing says, with Jace being a 2E kid, their high intelligence allows them to compensate for their struggle. People won't think he's autistic because he's brilliant, and that's what people thought about me. They thought because I was brilliant, I was in mentally gifted minors in high school. You know, I was in advanced studies, that sort of thing. And so anything that I lacked socially, they kind of attributed it to me just being, geeky and brilliant. Boom. Yes, most of the best minds in history were artistic.
Aw.
Now
So
I
in
know
your
why doctor did that face test on you. Oh, okay.
well, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, as example between like with um those that are um well, I have ADHD, and so with that, speaking of like social cues, I totally I try so hard not. My intent is not to be rude with interruption, but yeah, I totally just like jumped in there and then threw Grandma Sherry right off of her. Like, wait, where was I? And I'll forget where I'm talking in the middle of my own talking. Like I can confuse myself. So, yeah, with the social cue part, that with me sometimes will be an issue. Or when a situation gets uncomfortable, I try to talk. Like if I talk, I'll dig myself out of this awkward hole I'm in, and all I do is dig it deeper every time, and it never fails. But I do it over and over because that's the only skill I think would work. I have never tried anything different. I should try something, but I just can't think of anything other than to go silent, which is too awkward for me. I can't take it.
Right.
And so the silence will kill. Yeah, I can't do it. It's so I just talk into a never-ending hole of like, wow, it's so bad.
Yes, Sassy said she does the same thing, and I can attest to that. I love it though. I think it's fun.
Oh man,
I
not
I do
everyone does
too.
it.
Luna Poppy World, welcome. Welcome, honey. I'm gonna drop my channel. I don't do a lot on autism because, and this is, I'm kind of a wiener about it, okay?
A wiener.
But I am,
I like that. That's
because
funny.
it seems like every time I talk about autism that I got somebody who comes into my comment section afterwards and just says really horrible, horrible things. And
Oh.
I don't like that, but I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, whatever, whatever.
Yeah,
But
it's hard, but you can't let people bring you down. It is hard to learn how to do that. That's something I've had to learn since being at YouTube. I've never had people talk about me and treat me like they do here. That people I
Well,
don't even know.
I
It's
know,
weird.
right? So Luna says she thought she was a defective weirdo your entire life. Luna, you probably weren't here at the beginning, but I always said I was on the wrong planet because I just didn't understand these human people.
mhm.
Yes, it's a relief, but you still feel very isolated. Yes, honey, I understand that. Squirrel brain, lead to some
Well,
interesting combos.
I'll say like I
Ex-
even I have
Exactly.
like the opposite of her like face blindness. Now I did think those images of Mona Lisa, to me they both look like the smile or not smile or whatever look the same to me. I was like, I'm not seeing a difference. But I don't believe that I'm face blind. I don't believe because they can absolutely have like it's something that's upset me a lot through the years and in workplaces and all. Again, when I get to talking to get myself out of an awkward situation and make it more awkward, well, the faces of people around me when I say something awkward, and then the reaction of people, your face tells me everything. I see your judgment. I hear the nasty things like, oh, and it just shuts me down further. But the shutdown turns into like, okay, well, I guess just keep talking because nobody else is, and this is awkward. So yeah, I actually will kind of, fill in the words that their faces are implying.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Exactly.
effective. Yeah.
Yes, and you're good at the voice thing too, because when we're talking
Mhm.
and you find that maybe I get stuck or whatever, it's almost like you can read my mind when you say things.
Well, but the flip side, and I'll say this too, is that with with you being able, and I'm very sensitive too to the way people say things, how they say it, different things. But you know how people are they'll say they're very animated with their hands, and I am
Right.
very animated with my hands, but I'm also very animated with my voice. Now on my channel, I try to keep it within a closed area there of how far I go with my emotion and my inflection in my voice. But anybody that's talked to me off YouTube knows that I mean, my voice can not sound like mousy and squirrely. I can sound very, if I'm talking to my cat, to the point StreamYard, whatever that uh, tool is to help with the background sound, will actually
Right.
cut my voice off. What is it called?
Oh, crisp or whatever, just the
Yes.
background.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll actually cut my voice to nothing because I'm talking so high pitched to like my kitties or what have you. Or I can sound like much deeper tone if I'm getting if it's more of an angry, more of an aggression type. I mean, I don't know about aggression, but yeah, irritated, upset, if passion. I'm very passionate, and my voice has the inflection of it. So sometimes it can be a problem where it's actually not intended to come at anybody, Grandma Sherry a certain way, but being also like struggling with what's going on here. I don't understand. Like, I'm not getting this. Why am I feeling like there's miscommunication happening or something? And then I question it. My tone and my voice is kind of all over. And for someone like Grandma Sherry, that can be taken as like, whoa, oh, you sound upset. You sound very upset with me right now. Like, and so it can actually become an issue too. And again, as much as I'm the
Hmm.
one that my voice does that, I still listen to other people's voices and can be offended also if I feel like, whoa, why you sound like you're coming at me, or you sound like you have a problem with me. So
Hmm.
even though I should know firsthand because I know that about myself now, I mean, yeah, it takes learning. It definitely does. But yeah, so it can be a plus and
And
minus.
and it takes reminding. Well, we're kind of on a time limit here, so I'm going to wrap this up right quick, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for participating. And Bobby, if you
Okay.
want to talk to us, girl.
Okay. Yeah. And anybody that enjoys conversation, like further with that, Grandma Sherry's link is going to be in the chat and it's in the description after each of
Yay.
our live streams. Definitely go over, subscribe. She, you're going to love it. If this is something
Mhm.
that in your family or yourself, she's she's a wonderful channel to listen to. Plus, her voice is always soothing. She doesn't have the voice change that I do, so it's just so soothing all the time. But
I love your voice, Bob. Don't say that.
Me
oh,
too.
It
you haven't
makes
heard
you
my monster
smile.
voice.
No,
Yours
I
does
don't
too,
think I
though.
want to. I don't want
Your
to hear it with
giggle.
you, monster.
I love your giggle. It makes me happy no matter what. It's like, oh my gosh, it just brings
Hmm.
me happiness. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Aw, I'm so glad.
Jenny has Jenny has the
There it
cutest
is.
giggle. Okay.
I
All
love
right.
how
I'm going to be
Grandma
quiet.
Sherry recognizes me. It's by my giggle.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to ask with these questions that I'm posing, I'll try to do each of them and do like a press one, press two. And if you know a hard stand, where you're at with it. So it's down the line of, can you separate the art from the artist? Okay, but there's three specific areas I want to go with that, or like similar but varying in the question. So let's go straight to one, which is actually an artist, allegedly. It was out of art. You may have heard about recent case referring to him as like a grave, the grave digger or the grave robber or bone collector. And it took place Pennsylvania. Now, when you look at this man's page or pages, it comes across as art. Or when you look deeper, he's selling specifically human bones and animals and what have you. And the only part that's actually like legal for sale with that, for reasons of art, happened to be something I had come across in there. But mainly it was like research type of purposes for that. And for me, I didn't know what I thought about that. Like, I feel like that outside of permission being given, say they were an artist, and so they donate their remains that it can be used for art, that they would love nothing more than that. But what if they had nothing to do with, that's not specifically what they wanted their remains to go to? Maybe research, what have you. Now, do you take offense of not, do you think that that's respectful? Do you think it's art? It's art. No issues. No weirdness happening here. I can here. I'll add his name in the chat here. But
do you have anything you want to share on that, like his art or an article or anything?
I personally no, because in fact you
It's
can't
creepy.
differentiate what of the art is. None of it was robbed. It was all robbed. He took he literally went and
I just
took
realized what you were
people's
saying.
remains that were laid to rest and stole them from there, and then put them up on Facebook, even not just the darker areas of online, right on Facebook. And his Instagram, I don't feel comfortable. I mean, that's just my own
Gotcha.
personal ethical. I'm sorry, but I
No.
will give the name. That way, you guys can look further into him. But thank you, Grandma Sherry, for asking that question. If I wanted to,
I mean,
but I will give the name if you guys are interested in knowing a little bit more about it.
I get it
Well,
if people. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Grandma Sherry.
Oh, no, sorry. No, I was just going to say that a lot of people know about this story because they heard it. You know, Lady K just said that she did a stream on it, and I know that a bunch of other people did, because when it first came out, everybody was like, "What?" And you did one, Bob. And so, you know, if I think if you gave us a name and whatnot, might kind of ring a bell.
Yeah, his name is I totally just copied it, and then I realized I have not connected, I guess, to StreamYard, apparently, even though I'm
really
in it.
weird, because if somebody wanted art made from their remains, I'm all for it. You know, like actually, my husband like wants to donate, you know, himself to that. You know, so I have no issue with that. But to steal, to interrupt that, oh my gosh! If it was my family member, I would be so upset.
So you're literally like, yeah, you could see both sides. You're the perfect person that I was saying. Like, there really are people that do want to donate specifically for that. So Jonathan Gerlach, though, thank you, Sherry, is the most recent one that had come out. And so with that, again, I ran across is it, form of art. And I was thinking, no, outside of the exception of like that, I was thinking,
if that was his wishes, yeah.
Right, yeah. And I don't know. So I was just curious if you could separate that. Let's say not him in specific, because again, what he did was illegal. But in other incidents, do you, I'm not trying again. Do you think that you could separate it? Does it have any? And I'm not talking. You've got to go the full length of the type of art that could be created with somebody's remains.
That's difficult.
Yeah.
I would certainly wouldn't purchase it. I don't know. I would have a problem with it being in it. Oh no, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's really hard with art because the limitations on art for me are pretty far out there. But when that's when it's you and your expression, not when you're stealing someone's remains to do it. That's different.
Okay, so I did this thing the other day, or it wasn't the other day because I'm lazy, but Elton John had both kneecaps replaced.
Oh wow.
And he took the kneecaps and he made them into jewelry pieces. Which is a form of art. He wears them. I mean, I guess because art is subjective. Like somebody might really love Monet, but they're going to hate Pollock, somebody might really be like a Tim Burton sort of guy and really want the coffee table that looks like a rib cage.
Looking
what I
like
mean?
it is totally different to me.
Right. Yes.
Like
and
my husband loves weird stuff like that. He loves it.
Yeah.
But he's an artist. So,
okay. See, and
to be
that's
called.
where I'm sorry. I keep interrupting. I don't mean it.
No, you're not. It's totally fine.
Yeah. No, that's where I was seeing like all different art of can be used of, and again, you don't know what is real. Unfortunately, that case really opened the eyes of the things that are being sold, and it's they could say this is a real this or a real that, but you don't actually know. But yeah, are you able to separate those that do art? And again, what if it's given for complete permission? But like you said, your husband enjoys that kind of stuff.
He thinks it's interesting, but not. He would never want anything to do with somebody that was grave robbing.
What happens if you find out that the art, what you thought was going to be art, you come to find out now, and I'm not talking legal wise, but for the individuals that did fully believe when it was sold to them that it was a real piece of an actual human and not just some type of recreation of it.
Yeah.
Thoughts on their desire to know it's illegal, know that it's real, and still be like, nah, I'm totally going to make our art out of this. Again, knowing there is no permission. So it wasn't to make profit specifically is what I'm getting at with this question, with this one right now. So where this guy stole the pieces and then made profit, that was his whole point of mainly what he's doing. What about those that the intention isn't the profit? It's the cool artwork and for maybe even their art studio. So they don't plan to sell it. They're not going to profit off it. But they're under the full impression it's real.
Yeah, it's that I have a line. I don't care what anybody does as long as they're not impacting or harming someone else. And I guess you could make the argument that the person is deceased. Technically, they aren't. But then there's family members also. And that person, that's not necessarily what they wanted done to them. Right?
Right.
So I have a line there with that. But you're talking to somebody who hasn't been to Walmart in about 2 decades. Because I disagree with how they treated their employees back then, and I just haven't been back. Won't go.
I wanted to see what I feel like I'm reading a back-end comment from Melissa. Grandma Sherry, do you happen to know something who exactly she was referring to ahead? If I missed it, I know I did because she's talking about the difference between two.
Was that it?
Oh, familiar with the man that took another man's life? With permission, yes. I actually, yeah.
I didn't see that part. I saw the first part, and that's like Dr. Kevorkian, right? People ask for his assistance.
Yeah.
In their lives, but this is different if he's like eating them.
Well, I mean, even that, when you're saying asking for assistance too, that goes down another case, if I could think of his name right now. But that one was...
Say it again? Armin Mewis?
It was the one that...
Muse. Is it Muse?
Muse? That's what I thought. I don't know.
Oh, that's...
He put out put out an advertisement on the internet, and another man answered.
So then there's the one.
Two consenting adults, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, they both had a desire. I'm going backwards, by the way.
Thank you.
One to
It's
eat
still.
human flesh, and one to
I'm
have his
tracking.
own human flesh eaten. Okay, that's weird. Nico Klaus.
Don't know.
Is no.
Yeah, as Lady K was saying there too, the laws on human bone selling or even like remains is interesting. Yeah, that's what when I realized some of the, I was, wow.
It's like different in different states too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Marlena saying Graham Maines. How many of these people do we have going on? That's what I want to know.
When you were talking about separating can we separate the art from the artist? I thought you were talking about, not like what this guy did. I thought you were talking about like, well, I never liked Diddy's music. So
well, that's the next one I was going to ask.
Oh,
again.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're perfect. Thank you. That's exactly it. So musicians, when we're talking about musicians, and can you separate? And I'll go with what you were going to say after, if you were going to go a slightly different direction with this. But with me, I'm wondering, can you separate not even specifically the art, like say, we'll go with that, the lyrics that are actually spoke about in a song, and be able to separate that from just the art. But where I really wanted to know further was their lives, their personal lives. Like if you find out something about them personally, can you separate
I don't want to know
that?
usually. Yeah, I don't want to know. Because if there's somebody racist, I won't listen to their music at all, ever.
That's what I was gonna. Okay, and if there a line, do you have a line there between what you will accept, like your boundary is racism, but is there other things you could learn about them that they could maybe domestic violence or
well, here's the interesting one, right? So Metallica, I used to love Metallica, like when I was in high school and stuff. They were one of the bands I really liked. And then we had the music. It was streaming, the download. So it was before LimeWire, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it started with an N. But people were uploading music, and then other people could download it for free. It was kind of like a torrent. So you seeded the download from your computer, and other people could, share the music. Napster. Thanks, Marlene. Thank you. They had been a band that would give away bootlegs of their concerts because they said it was all about the fans and getting their music out to everybody, and they didn't care about making money or anything. And then the Napster thing happened, and they were like ragey babies about money they were missing out on because of the downloads. And that's a controversial topic too, whether that's okay or not. But I will turn the radio if it's playing, I'll turn it because it was just so egregious to me that you've gotten money now and you want to mistreat your fans. But I know that one's kind of silly, but
so I'll go with, without us going into politics specifically, because we know that's not what I want to talk about.
I'll shut somebody down over politics sometimes. Yeah, if it's too bad.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay, so because right now, I think it's at all-time high, probably for conflict of one side versus the other, like really strong. And so, would you stop? You had a favorite artist. Your music. They were your everything, and then you find out that they're not only maybe whether you just find out that they're of the opposing side, or they come out and actually speak out publicly about, hey, here's which direction I'm gonna vote, and it's not. Would you cut them off? Are you done?
It depends. So, like, my favorite artists, I actually know what their public political leanings are, right? Like Eminem, I don't ever have to worry about that. I can love him for the rest of my life. But there are certain things. It makes you look at. It makes me look at people differently, and I know that's probably not fair. I try to consider that there are reasons for different um, beliefs or getting behind certain things, and I also accept that I'm very people and planet oriented as well, right? And not everybody is, and that's okay. But there, there are certain things that it's just too much.
So Jackie, in specific, was going right. She's just made exactly where I was going to head next. And
Mm,
so, um, do you think? Would you prefer, or do you think it should just be left alone for artists to, or any entertainer for that matter? Do you think just do your craft and
yeah.
that's it, or and like stop, don't talk yourself, don't get up. Or do you appreciate and prefer? That's cool. I love that they're speaking out about, let's
Yeah.
say, for example, was been discussed at award ceremonies and wearing pins and all of
Hmm.
that. Now, it depends. If you're for that movement, you might be like, heck yeah. But at the end of the day, like, what if it was the opposite of your view? Do you
Hmm.
prefer they just do their art and
No,
and not?
no, no, not at all. Actually, it drives me crazy when people say, what was it? Shut up and dribble about LeBron. Like you shouldn't be talking about politics. He's an American citizen too. They're all
Mhm.
American citizens. They have every right to use their platform for whatever they want. If I feel a certain way about it, that's me. I'm not going to run around and tell people to stop listening to it. But
Well, like, and then then there's like that. What perfectly had just said too. Like, you don't really care what their politics are, but just
hey,
do
perfectly.
your concert, like do your thing, and stop shoving your politics or what have you. Not even just politics, but anything, any of their main beliefs. Say religion, whatever topic of the main ones that really could be off-putting to somebody who feels different.
Hmm. I don't know. I love it that people express themselves. I would never, ever say to somebody like you shouldn't be talking about X, Y, or Z. You should just be playing your music. That's is so insulting to me. And that's just
Um,
personal. But like everybody's different though, right? I don't begrudge anybody for feeling differently.
Grandma Sherry, do you have any like position either way on it, or just
Um, I know. Oh, well, I know. Luna had said this earlier, and I keep bringing it back up because I think she really nailed this. I have a hard time separating art from artist. Like, I adore The Cosby Show. I
Oh
watched it
yeah.
with my family as a young teen and really want to rewatch it. But when I try, I feel sick to my stomach.
Mhm.
That's weird,
You
isn't it?
know,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm kind of like that too. So
Mm.
yeah, I guess I can't separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, I think for me it has there's like levels there. Some stuff I can, and unfortunate. Then there's like the harder lines for me that I'm like, nah, I didn't agree. I don't love that. And I didn't know I was like that until one time it just slapped me right in the face. I was like, yeah, no, I'm done. Not a fan. Don't like it. And I've
Yeah.
come around a bit where now I can listen to the music, but I feel different. I do. I do.
Hmm.
Yeah, there
Can't
is that
help it.
stomach feeling. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, they have every right to speak on whatever they choose to speak on.
Mhm.
We also have a right to say we don't want to hear it and just not hear it. But people who get all like preachy about it, and they're like, everybody should stop listening to this person because, of X, R, Z. I don't like that. I don't like the cancel thing. I was never hip on that
Yeah.
at all.
Well, I
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
look at it that way too because to me that kind of falls into the category of opinions. And I always say that, opinions are like genitals. Everybody has them. You can
Most
be
people do.
proud of them. You can be proud of them. You can talk about them. Try to shove them down my throat.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. hmm Okay, so third, third topic stemming off of this, similar but not the same. Journalism. So there's a recent situation, if you know, you know.
Mhm.
And so this is actually what even got my mind to go to these questions. Wanting to know, while not specifically an artist or any of that, can you separate their personal crimes or slash criminal history from the content? So I'm not specifically saying like, okay, well, when they were covering this case, I didn't agree with X, Y, or Z, or when they were covering this topic, I didn't agree with how they did it. I'm just saying like their personal, anything of their real life. Can you separate that from like, okay, well, they put out good content, or I like, based off the recent one, I like being
Mhm.
able to watch live what's happening. And if you draw a line there, like, do you unsubscribe or stop getting whatever the articles are sent to you? Say that it's by that, but more so going off of any journalism, but more independent journalism is where we're starting to see where you can really kind of find out a whole awful lot about past and current things on them.
I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I'm like, I don't. We talked about it a little bit.
Well, like,
But
I suspect based off the case. Sorry, I'm stuttering here.
no,
The specific. I'm sure you know the specific person I'm referring to.
yeah,
Okay, so let's say you were already, if you didn't have him crossed off, he was someone okay, and I watched his content and I like it. I like it a lot, right? Say you already didn't have other reasons to not have a problem, and you really were. You were like, yes, I believe in this person. You were unaware of past, and then found out the new current allegations. Would you have an opinion? Would you be able to separate those and say, well, he did that in his personal time and he's off to whatever, but like his coverage over here has been really good and I'm going to keep watching it.
yeah. I mean, so way even before I came to YouTube, I knew of this person, and they were really what I felt like ruining the ability to watch court cases and follow um, crime way over on Facebook a long time ago. So I kind of stayed away anyway, mostly. However, I know Deets and I watched some of his coverage before because it was something that we were following. But it was very funny. I mean, it was easier to take, right? Because I was laughing through.
Yeah,
We were laughing
actually.
through the whole thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, the way so like with news, right? I use ground news. I love it, love it. But I've always watched station like news that I don't agree with on purpose. Like I want, if I'm wrong, I want to know. So I
Mhm.
want the entire truth. And I know like when I'm listening to or reading different news sources and it's the same story, whatever is consistent likely is true. I mean, it doesn't mean it's definitely true, but it likely is the facts. Because everybody, they all put the spin on it and, you know, um, suggestions. Does this mean that blah, 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 blah? That kind of stuff. So I've always watched all of it. I don't have a problem with that. And I think some of the stuff, some of those sources have done it has been vile.
Mhm.
But
And I think that's
information is information.
yeah, and that's even kind of a original I was going to talk about, but it kind of makes a difference to, at least in this conversation, the difference between whether it's an actual media source that's corporation and their standards on reporting versus how much independent journalism is happening. And that allows the freedom to say, one, to not have a bias or to be specifically pushing in a certain direction or
Oh, it
leaving
happens.
out, yeah, like leaving out stuff or there's somebody that needs to get some parts fixed on their car behind me. I don't know if you can hear that. I have your window
I
pulled open,
did.
but man,
I didn't know
was
what
like,
it was. I was like, is there a snake back there?
it sounds like they're a belt of something, but I'm also not a mechanic, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was wild. Glad it stopped. Anyways,
Well, no,
yeah,
independent journalism, I think, is on the rise, and I love it.
right.
I love it, love it, love it. But you have to be super careful there too, definitely,
Mhm.
because it's just somebody, and like Tracy's saying, this person just a man with a camera, and that's the case. And sometimes people are really good at it; they have a talent for it, and sometimes they don't. I know that this in-depth reporting where an independent journalist with cameras walks up to a business that has children in it and um, tells everybody that they're doing something underhanded because nobody comes to the door.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
that drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah,
It's
there's
not
like
helpful at
there's
all.
two sides to that coin, and
Yeah.
it is very frustrating. It's so frustrating. And also,
Mhm.
you've got to find the ones, it's seeming to be harder and harder now to find the ones that you feel truly give factual information. They're telling the truth. They're being honest.
Yeah.
They're thoroughly investigating or researching everything into it. So you know
And
that
we'll
what you're getting.
correct if they
Yeah.
put something out that's not right. That's
Yeah, you
huge
know
for
how
me.
I don't believe plus add AI into it, and I have a hard time believing anybody anymore, but especially if there's an AI voice talking. My
Mm,
boyfriend played something
I
one
click
time
it
about
off there. Yeah, I'm like, no.
something about a volcano that's about to explode or something in like 15 years and the whole world's gonna end. And I'm like, what did you say? He repeat. I said, play it, and I hear it. I look it up, and I go, that is not true. That is ridiculous. Stop it. Uh-oh. Sorry, the squeal started again. Oh my gosh. I'll have to pull the if it does it a third, I'll shut the window.
Well, Tracy had a good additional question there if you wanted to point that out.
Let's say that one, the let's say.
Yeah.
Let's say it's
Let's
somebody respected,
pretend.
in the field. Right, right, right. Yes, better way of asking it than I was trying to ask you earlier. And we want to find out. No, what? And we find out that they've been harming their spouse, holding them financially hostage, etc. Nah, enough people out there to watch.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Thank you, chasing.
So, can I say the other side of that coin? What does find out mean? Does that mean they've been accused of it,
Or convicted.
or that we know that they've done it?
Mm.
And I, for that, I'll let. I'm lucky that I have that window, right, where I'm like, until I know, right, I'm not gonna hold something against somebody because so many people are willing to just completely make up lies about people.
What
But
about
if
accused
it's
with
obvious,
what about
you know,
accused with photos and statements from police? Police verifying
well,
the
that's
the
that's
injuries.
proof. That would be
Mhm.
proof enough for me. I think for everybody has their own level, right? You can't always say, "Oh, innocent," until proven guilty in a court of law. While that's true, sometimes we have enough information, like Jeffrey Epstein, for instance. We know that something was wrong there.
I'm sorry, I'm getting the giggles off of Twisty. I was tickling. I can't. I'm so sorry. Go ahead,
Andy
Commissioner.
Griffith.
Yeah, the Andy Griffith theme song. I've been hearing that too. So yay. No, that's kind of a perfect segue. We need to let Jenny talk about Epstein, which
Yes.
has
Oh.
independent journalism in there for the
So much,
for because some things are covered over no matter how much they're put out there. Because how long have we heard that Jeffrey Epstein's island was a nightmare? And how long have people been saying that Virginia Roberts Giuffre was just some sort of crackpot who just wanted money. And now it's all coming together. We're getting that proof. We're getting that empirical evidence. I love that word, empirical evidence. But we're getting that evidence to prove that what these people were talking about is true. I'm sorry, Bobby. I interrupted you.
No, you didn't. No.
It's oh, you don't have to put it up there yet. I'm sorry. I was just getting
Oh,
ready.
Okay. Let me know when to hit it.
I'm so sorry. I just this is a great conversation, you guys. It
I
really is. I
know.
love this so much.
But I promised Dunya we'd keep it to 2 hours or so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because otherwise we'd be here all night.
That's true. I would be, definitely.
Me too. I would love to just talk about this for hours and hours. Okay, be quiet. Shut up,
Okay.
Grandma.
Bob, did you have anything else that you wanted to say about the topic?
No, I went into giggles off of the chat. I'm good. Nope. We're all set.
Okay. All right. So, what I wanted to talk about a little bit is really how Epstein got so rich. And, like, spoiler alert, we don't know where all of his money came from. But the road to investigating that is a very interesting one. So, people called you crazy, Tracy. It's funny. I do want to say that before we get started, I do keep hearing people say that people need to apologize to QAnon because of what's going on with Epstein.
Okay.
Those are not the same.
No.
These stories at all. Like, at all. The only thing is that there was child trafficking, and we know that happens. Like, that's not a conspiracy. that
Right.
is a fact, sadly.
Yes.
But it's very different. The QAnon stuff, and then there was the I can't think of the other one. The furniture one. Wayfair, where they were saying they were
right.
children through there.
And right. Where they were selling the furniture. Yeah.
I was like, how are they pulling this off? Like, tell me. I'm open to it. I'm always open. But if something doesn't make sense to me, I'll say it doesn't make sense to me. But that was one, like the Wayfair. I could never find anybody like giving a description of how this is supposedly works. Like, why would they need Wayfair to traffic a child? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. But
yeah, well, the thing about like for their quote pizza parties, right? They would get a quote menu sent over to them, and evidently they would pick out the person that they wanted out of like a catalog. And so the Wayfair thing was kind of the same. If there was, a chest of drawers named Melissa for $13,000, evidently, that's the way that worked. I don't know.
But how do you know that Melissa is what you wanted? It's just a name.
Yeah, I don't know unless they had their catalog available.
But then why do they need the website?
Right, exactly. I
like, it never made sense. It was just like circular kind of thing.
Right.
And I get it. I mean, I looked at it. Same with the Pizzagate stuff. I dug all into those things. I know Tracy has too. I hesitate to accuse people when there is no evidence. Like the Tom Hanks thing. That, to me, like, that hurts my heart. I hope that never happened, but there's not a shred of evidence.
Tell us about the Tom Hanks thing.
That was Tracy mentioned him earlier in here, Isaac Cappy. And he was it's a very sad thing. I believe he was abused, but near the end of his life, he was videoing himself, but he was accusing famous people of essaying him when he was a child. And one of those people was Tom Hanks. And I felt terrible because I would never say I don't believe a victim, but I also know that there was something going on with him as well, and there was never any evidence. But he kept saying, um, "They're gonna kill. They're gonna kill me. They're gonna, they're gonna take me out for talking about this and all that." And then he ended up deceased. So a lot of
Aw.
people were like, "Whoa, they really did take it," but I don't
hate that.
know. There's not enough information to be able to verify either way, right? That where it was true or not. But I know what it's like to be lied about like that, out of thin air. And for me, it's out of like maliciousness. I don't think Cappy was malicious. I don't, and that was like really, really sad to me. But a lot of people believe that Tom Hanks, um, you know, as his children because of that. And I think that's just as sad. And it's not really fair. But anyway, on to the topic. I didn't mean to get into that, but I think that's important to talk about. Some people are very quick, especially when somebody's famous and they don't seem like a real person to them. They're very quick to believe any negativity about them. And there's some crappy people out there. Don't get me wrong. There are really crappy people. But I would love it if people were a little more careful in spreading things without proof. But
Without proof.
It's not
Yeah,
real,
exactly.
People talk
Because
about it. Yeah.
you can sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
You can really damage somebody's reputation by allegations or things, because there are people out there that lie, that are money hungry or whatever, and they just want to shut up money. But at the same time, we're at a place where there's so many things that are being proven. I'm actually reading a book called Hollywood Babylon by Kenneth Angers, and it's Hollywood's best kept secrets. And it's stuff like this, all covered up by publicists, all covered up by the mainstream media, which at that time was newspapers and radios,
Yeah. I do. I was typing to Melissa, but I would absolutely love to hear all about the Wayfair thing and Isaac Cappy, because I'm sure other people have some information I don't, because I know they're brilliant people and they believe, some people believe those things. I would love to know why. I'm just missing it, I guess. But I haven't seen anything. But with Jeffrey Epstein, it is very, very, very different.
Oh.
And we only have about half the files, and so I think I have everything at this point. There's a sequential numbering system on the documents that came from the DOJ, and you could tell based off of the skipped numbering, at least estimate kind of what's missing, right?
Yeah.
There's maybe stuff after the last number that we wouldn't even know about, but there's chunks of files missing, and it's during a time where he was very active. That would be like 99 to 2002. And he got arrested in 2007 in Florida. There were multiple girls. I think it was like 40 girls who had come forward, because what he was doing was, like, Ghislaine Maxwell was helping with this as well. They would recruit a girl, dazzle her with the mansion and the things and the pool and all that kind of stuff, and then offer her money to give a massage. And that massage often turned into other things that they weren't comfortable with, in order to get them to leave them alone. Sometimes they would recruit other girls, right? So they would get a cut, and then the girl who came there to do the massage would get a cut, not knowing what she was walking into. And a lot of these girls came from families that weren't well to do, and they had suffered abuse already at that point, and he preyed on them. And I think that's pretty clear. There's a really good documentary on Netflix, a Netflix documentary. If you know, you know. Yeah, we don't have a Netflix documentary, guys. Just say.
Yes, Netflix documentary.
Yeah, that's not what we're here for. But
no.
Up to this point, and he gets arrested. Alex Acosta cuts him what they call a sweetheart deal, where he got very little time. The victims were not just talked to about the deal. And granted, prosecutors don't have to get permission from family or victims, but they didn't get to testify. They didn't get a say in what happened, and his punishment was extremely light for the volume that he was doing.
Oh, that was absolutely insane. It could have been insane, and then he just was found guilty on 2 counts. Then he was given 2 or 3 years, and then he was given work release, and he didn't even serve a full 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, and he was on a work release, which Alex Acosta claims he didn't know about. He wasn't aware of that part of the deal, but he cut the deal. So I don't really know. So he really wasn't doing time, really.
He wasn't
like somebody else would.
He would sleep in the jail. That's all he would do. I mean, literally, they said he went on his plane. He would, go off to his island. He would go up to New York
Paris,
during the day.
He had a place in Paris. And Zora Ranch out in New Mexico.
Right.
And interestingly, I believe it was last week, it might have been the week before, but I think it was last week, was the first time ever that law enforcement even searched Zora Ranch.
That's crazy.
And it's because there were accusations of bodies buried there. So New Mexico, New Mexico is where it is. The state is who is actually conducting. And the guy who owns it now, there's a whole rabbit hole with him. He's in politics and real estate in Texas.
It's some sort of church thing too, right?
That was the idea that it was supposed to be. They were supposed to be turning it into that, I think. But there was a whole area of Zora Ranch, and I still haven't found anything definitive, but the entire area was dug up fairly recently, within the past few years. I don't know if anybody knows when that actually showed up as dug up, because people weren't really paying attention to it. It wasn't as famous as the New York mansion or the island, right? That was what everyone was focused on. But Zora Ranch, there was a whole area of land just dug up. You could see there's piles of mounds of dirt out there and stuff, with an excavator or something. And it may be completely innocent, but at this point, I'll be honest, I feel like everything is upside down in the world. Everything that I trusted or believed, the lines that I thought that adult Americans had, they don't at all. Every day is some fresh new hell, in various ways, all over the place. But in this case, the Jeffrey Epstein case, and seeing these files had a lot to do with me coming to the realization that that it's real. That this is really happening on this level. So my interest in this is not the sexual assault part, because I think there are lots of people covering that extremely well. and it bothers me a lot. But I am super focused on his connections, his money, and what events that have gone on during those 20 years or more that he had some input into. He's constantly introducing people to each other, getting secrets from. I mean, that's what Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was actually in trouble for. It wasn't the sexual assault. It was, I believe, the charge was like the state secret or trading secrets, and it was the same for Mendelbaum. Mendelsohn. It was another UK politician who hung out with Jeffrey Epstein that has been forced to resign. And I don't necessarily want to say there's charges because I can't remember. It seems like there are, or they're questioning about those charges or something. But
it was misconduct.
It
was misconduct in public office. Is what they're looking at for Andrew.
Oh, I thought his was state secrets or something like that, treason, basically.
No, that's it. That's just it, because he was selling state secrets, like insider trading is what he was doing. But the official charge is the misconduct while in public office, which they're looking at that saying, okay, he's a member of the royal family. He wasn't being paid for that. And so they're saying technically he wasn't in a public office. It's just all kinds of weirdness. But fortunately, these things are coming to light,
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really bad. Just his inbox, just what we can see that's not redacted in his inbox is like a creepy Forrest Gump. You know how Forrest Gump was just at all these famous places in the middle of like famous things that occurred through history? It's the same in Epstein. Like,
it is.
President Trump's first term, he was constantly talking to Steve Bannon, who was Trump's top advisor. And Bannon, there was even an email where Bannon's asking him, who should we replace this person with? And it was before it was announced publicly that person was leaving the administration.
Mm-hmm.
And they were asking him. I was like,
yeah.
Because that's not Trump, but that's his top advisor. He's in his ear. And so that's what he was doing. He's like sneaking around everywhere, getting information from people. They even gossiped with other grown men about who was getting divorced and what happened in their divorce and stuff like that. It was gross. Like really gross. But he was also really into like genome and stem cell research. He talked at one point about setting up a foundation, and all that gets really scary for somebody like him, right? It's like the good information, but in the wrong hands, maybe. So there's a lot of speculation. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, he had all the huge geeks out at his island. I mean, he loved geeky people. He had Stephen Hawking, he had Bill Gates, he had Steve Jobs. Just all the.
I don't think he had Steve Jobs out there, did he?
Did he? Maybe not. But
no,
but he just all kinds
Woody
of
Allen.
Oh yuck. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the eugenics stuff is what they were into.
Yeah, because eugenics on its own isn't bad. It's the negative eugenics, right? Like that from World War II, what Germany was doing. That is bad. But eugenics itself isn't a horrible thing. It's a study of why we have, why we are this way, why we have these features.
Well, yeah, the DNA and the mRNA and everything that makes our cells tick. That's part of. Oh, I'm sorry, Twisty. I won't say Bill Gates too much because he did shut me off last time.
Oh, that's right.
Oh God.
Oh,
God. Thanks, Twisty. But Yeah, no, the mRNA and the DNA and everything, how our cells work, that's part of eugenics, but it's taken to the other side where, like, Adolf and his buddies wanted to get rid of everybody, get rid of certain bloodlines
To breed
and
it out,
whatnot.
breed things out of people. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's why
It's scary.
the genocides happened.
Yeah. So real quick, I know Nunya's gonna get on us if we don't get on with it. I'm sorry. I
Oh, no,
haven't
you're
really
good.
gotten
You've got
into
a good
anything
20
yet. I
minutes.
apologize. It's all, there's so much though, and it's all so interesting. And I think it's that we have to have public discussions about some of these things. I really do. And so anyway, at the time of Epstein's death, like you keep hearing billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire. I can't find at any time that he was ever a billionaire. When he died, he was worth, 577 billion ish with assets and everything, including the island. So when people go to dig and try to see where his money's coming from, so they looked from 1999 to 2018, right, which would have been the last full year before he was arrested. And he had multiple jobs. I'm sure I know Tracy had done a video that strangely still says it's processing. Right, Tracy? Is it still processing today?
Oh my God.
But she had done a video on the origins, kind of like how he started out at Dalton School with no degree. He just kind of conned his way in there. And then he got into Bear Stearns as a coffee getter, and within 5 years he was a limited partner at Bear Stearns, right? And he ended up losing that position for, there's multiple reasons given, but we don't exactly know what they are. Or if that was the only reason, whichever reason that was. But he started creating his own companies. And within those companies, he didn't make enough, really, to live the lifestyle that he lived and have the money that he had when he was deceased, when he died. He did do some stock trading that probably brought him some things. I know Les Wexner, who we'll talk about a little bit, in his deposition with Congress, he talked about how he wasn't even aware, that Epstein was ripping him off and stealing all this money from him. But allegedly, Epstein bought that jet from Wexner, but there's no proof of money paid for it. I believe that New York mansion also was Wexner's. They say Wexner sold it to him, but there's not really a bill of sale or anything like that anybody's been able to come up with that I know of. Which is kind of strange, because with those businesses, he really had two major clients. One was Les Wexner, who we were talking about, and he was the first one. It was like 1991 to 2007, and he paid on paper, what we can see, $170 million to Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, I'm sorry, $200 million. The other client was from 2012 to 2017, and that was Leon Black, who, blah, blah. And that's $170 million that he gave. Luckily, because we're not getting the law enforcement, the actual criminal charges against some of these people, I think they are having a hard time putting all the pieces together. I think some areas of government probably held back pieces here to protect somebody, and then another part of the government held back stuff to protect somebody else. And I don't know that all of the information has been in the same place at the same time. And that's my thought, not something that's proven. I'm not sure that all the information has been together. And I think it's disgusting that they won't release the rest of the files. I think yesterday, the Attorney General says that she is not releasing anything else, even under a subpoena from Congress. They didn't follow it anyway. They left victims unredacted photos and like compromising photos and their names in some cases, but then redacted the rich, powerful men who were in the circle. And just being rich, powerful, and knowing Jeffrey Epstein isn't enough to mean that you've done something horrible like that. To me, it's not. There has to be something, right, that ties you to those deeds. There appears to be quite a bit tying Leon Black to a victim who had mosaic Down syndrome. And that just like kills me, like absolutely kills me. Her story is awful, absolutely awful. But you know, he did have to resign, or chose to resign, as chairman of the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA. He stepped down in 2021 when all this started coming up again. And he had a private equity firm called Apollo Global Management. He stepped down from there at the same time in 2021. Les Wexner stepped down from L Brands, which is Victoria's Secret, The Limited, Bath and Body Works. He was CEO of all of those companies. He stepped down in 2020. But nothing else has happened that we can tell. I did want to do a couple of quick videos. Grandma Sherry, if you don't mind sharing my screen. They're quick, but it does give a little bit more information about these two men and their connection. Thank you, Mario. Okay. This is after Congress had spoken with Les Wexner.
We are right now in the middle of a deposition of Mr. Les Wexner. Mr. Epstein would not be the wealthy man he was without the support of Les Wexner.
Congress has zeroed in on Jeffrey Epstein's billionaire benefactor, Les Wexner. As DOJ files show, authorities believe he was the primary source of Epstein's wealth. Epstein began managing Wexner's wealth in the 1980s when Wexner was building a retail empire that came to include Victoria's Secret.
Being taken advantage of by someone who was so sick, so cunning, so depraved, is something that I'm embarrassed that I was even close to.
Wexner has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing, but his close ties to Epstein have shadowed him for years. CNN's review of the Epstein files found the FBI has had Wexner on its radar since it began looking into Epstein in the early 2000s. According to a DOJ memo, in the late 2000s, when Florida police began investigating Epstein, Wexner's wife took over the family's finances. She discovered Epstein misappropriated several $100 million. After that, Wexner cut off all ties. In 2019, an FBI document called him a co-conspirator in its investigation into Epstein's sex trafficking of girls. A spokesman for Wexner told CNN he cooperated with law enforcement and in 2019 was told that he was neither a co-conspirator or target of the investigation. The files include one undated message Epstein penned to Wexner, writing, "You and I had gang stuff for over 15 years," adding he had no intention of divulging any confidence of ours. It's unclear if the message was ever sent, and Wexner's spokesman said he never received the note, calling it one in a pattern of Epstein's desperate attempts to perpetuate his lies, proclaim his innocence, and meet with individuals who had ended their relationships with him. One of Epstein's most prominent victims, Virginia Giuffre, claims she was trafficked to Wexner, an allegation he has repeatedly denied. Another woman, whose name is redacted in the files, told the FBI Wexner would have models that could not have been over 18 years old do private viewings for him and Epstein. A spokesman for Wexner said the claim is not true and that Wexner did not hold any private modeling sessions with or without Epstein.
We are right now.
Do you have it on pause? Jen? Hello?
Or maybe she's muted and doesn't. Yeah, she's muted but doesn't realize.
Yeah,
I
she's
am muted.
Hi.
I muted. I usually muted my microphone, but I muted in the StreamYard, so there wasn't an echo or something. I didn't want to cause that.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, and then I forgot.
We all do it, and we love talking to the mic all by ourselves.
Right. Yeah, we do that.
So that was just a high level little bit of Wexner. You heard him talking to a group of people at one point. What he said there, I find extremely interesting. He said the exact words in his deposition. Bill Clinton did the same thing. When you think he's just talking to you, it's word for word what was his opening statement in his deposition.
Yep.
That they've rehearsed what they're going to say. And to a degree, I understand that, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But, Wexner portrays himself as a victim and even willing to say he feels so stupid for this. But the stuff that went on through that time, there are way more victims who accused him that are credible. Credible meaning like the FBI talked to them more than once. There are other things we know are true from their story, that type of thing. So, that's there's a whole bunch with this guy. So I saw somebody in the chat bring this up. Let me see if I can switch my screen. This is Wexner's lawyer whispering in his ear because Wexner liked to talk long. He liked to give some details in his excuses for why whatever wasn't true or how he just didn't know anything about this or that. He didn't handle the money. He didn't deal with anything, according to him. He says he had a town to build, which he did. He built a town in Ohio. His name is on most everything in Ohio, from what I understand. Gross. Anyway, so his lawyer, because he kept giving all these answers, lawyers don't like for their clients to speak a whole lot because you slip up. I was really enjoying it because I was getting, more and more info. But his lawyer gets on to him here. I think that you should be able to hear it, but he's whispering in his ear. So let's see.
See in Rome. But then all the things were inventoried. That wasn't work for me or Jeffrey. It was just regularly done. Answer that question. 5 words, okay? Answer the question.
Wow.
He said, I will fucking kill you if you answer a question with more than 5 words again.
Yep.
And then started laughing. So, and I try to step back and go, okay, is this reasonable for somebody to act this way? I try not to get too caught up in it where I'm just like, oh, he's guilty. I don't know that he is. I know there's a lot of information that backs up that type of thing. And then there's one more, and this is about Leon Black, who I find absolutely disgusting. The first time I heard about him, Sassy Adrian came in the chat and she was like, oh my God, Leon Black. And then I spent a few days digging. But here's a high-level summary for you guys as well. So we don't really have a lot of time to go into a bunch of detail, but I'm going to try to put out some videos or maybe do a couple of lives where we can all discuss it and get like deeper into different pieces of this. Seriously, there's
Yeah,
like 8 million rabbit holes, tentacles coming off of this.
yeah, I was gonna ask you if we can come over to your place and
Absolutely.
do a slumber party with Epstein stuff, man.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. We
Yes,
could
me
even
too.
do it here if none of you ever wanted to do a longer live and let us just kind of go. We could do it here
Oh,
too.
we could probably do a whole day on just Epstein stuff. The information that you have, that Melissa has, that
Mm-hmm.
Chasing has, it's like,
Tracy, yeah.
it's
Yes, and
crazy.
Skilo as well.
Oh, Skilo, okay.
Yeah, I've been if any of you know who I am, I'm a data engineer, a developer. I love data. Data's my favorite thing. When I was following this Summer Wells case, I built a database that included videos that were done on her news clips, information about her family, other people who may have been suspects, so that we could cross-reference things. And it's come in really handy. I started doing that with the Epstein files too because this is how my brain works. Like I have to organize it. And I have to be able to get back to whatever information I need to quickly. But Skilo sent me a link yesterday. There's someone else that's doing that as well, and I'm so excited. So excited. There's a tool at jmail.world where they've taken the files. There's a Jmail, which you look like you're in Epstein's email, and you can go through the files, and it links back to the original as well. Then they created JReddit, J Drive. There's all kinds of apps that they made J whatever, where they show you. It's easier. You can search the files easier because the DOJ website engine is ridiculous. Absolutely, they don't expect anybody to find anything. That's the thing, right? But that's a really good resource. There's a girl named Becca Day. Also, Skilo introduced me to her. She has been doing little deep dives on different people and different things with Epstein. She is amazing. If you guys want to check her out as well, there's a lot of really good stuff out there. Aaron Parnas is outstanding, and he doesn't just cover Epstein. He also covers politics and the war. But check them out. I haven't. It's not highly opinionated sources, and I love that. Give me the information, and I do want to know what people think too. But I really give me the information, right? Give me the data. So I'll run this really quick about Leon Black, and then we can come back and wrap up. Don't get mad, no. Hold on, let me see if I can. All right, I think that's it. I started playing it and realized I wasn't on the right tab.
Today on Forbes, how Picasso, Van Gogh, and Cezanne helped finance Epstein client Leon Black's billionaire lifestyle. For decades, Leon Black cultivated a reputation as one of the world's most formidable art collectors, scooping up museum-worthy masterpieces. But ongoing revelation of Black's years-long affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, most notably paying him $170 million for financial and tax advice, have tarnished his reputation. In March 2021, Black resigned as CEO of Apollo Global Management, the private equity firm he founded, and stepped down as chair of the Museum of Modern Art Board. The latest Epstein files show how Epstein helped Black turn his art collection into a sophisticated financial asset. Far from functioning solely as a personal passion, Black's trove of Picassos, Cezannes, and Monets was systematically structured, valued, and leveraged so that he could borrow against it on a massive scale. Epstein helped manage and organize the collection, transforming illiquid paintings into bankable collateral that could be pledged for large loans, unlocking hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. Entities controlled by Black put up $1 billion worth of artist collateral for a loan from Bank of America as of 2014, according to an Epstein Files document. By 2017, the value of Black's collateralized art had grown to $1.4 billion. Some of the most valuable works, including Paul Cézanne's Le Chateau Noir, worth $50 million, Pierre Mondrian's composition Sea with Gray and Red, worth $40 million, Constantine Brancusi's La Muse, worth $40 million, and Claude Monet's Nymphaeus, worth $45 million. Black had over half.
Like, how crazy is that? This is insane.
Yeah, that is insane. Wow.
I mean, I think about it. This drives me crazy, and I'm not somebody who thinks, "Oh, all the wealthy people should have to give their money away." That's not what I think. But I think about this, and then I think about how people are suffering right now in our economy, and a lot of people just getting by, and it frustrates me. It does, especially because I know how some of the money was gotten. And a lot of times it's just who you know, who your family is. I mean, being a good con artist like Epstein, he by no means should have been in the position that he was in at any point. I think there was an article at one point called Talented Mr. Epstein. And I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Talented Mr. Ripley with Matt Damon. It was really good. He was a con artist, and he would mimic people in order to steal from them and take their girlfriend, that kind of thing. Oh, Melissa, the connections. It's so crazy. But anyway, I wanted to stop. I didn't want to just play through and get none in trouble. So sorry.
$500 million in taken out against our collection by 2016. The document dated December 2015 shows that entities controlled by Black had borrowed $631 million, with one entity, Narrows LLC, accounting for $565 million. Narrows is listed as the owner of Black's collateralized art in additional Epstein documents from 2016 and 2017. Files titled All Art appear to catalog his entire collection, including acquisition costs, Christie's appraisals, and
really quick, I just noticed this. This guy, I was just digging into him. His name is, I believe, Dr. Richard Merkin. He works for an institute with biomedical stem cell research. And they have a foundation, where the money's, there are a bunch of emails between him and Epstein. And he, at one point, left his iPad at Epstein's, apparently. And they had to FedEx it back to him. I mean, some of these emails and documents look banal. And then when you look, you're like, wait a minute. Why is his iPad over there? That's weird. And then you start digging, and you find out stuff about these people. But that's funny. See, even now, I just now recognize who that was. They're all together all the time. Well, I mean, it's over years, but you see pictures, and it's like, of course that guy is there. Of course that guy is there, Once
Creepy.
You start getting to know who people are. Ugh.
Unrealized gains. As of 2016, Black's art was worth $3 billion, with unrealized gains totaling $1 billion. A decade later, the collection is likely worth far more. New York-based fine art appraiser Sylvia Leonard Wolf estimates that Black's 2017 collection would have increased in value by roughly 50%. Appraiser Bonnie Kagan says, quote, blue chip works like his don't lose value. It's the best of the best. It is unclear how much Black is still borrowing against his art or which pieces have been sold. A spokesperson declined to comment. By borrowing against his multi-billion-dollar portfolio, Black was able to access enormous sums while avoiding capital gains taxes, a strategy known as buy, borrow, die. He also borrowed against his stake in Apollo. The firm's 2022 proxy statement shows that Black placed roughly 20% of his shares in margin accounts subject to loan arrangements, though the size of those loans is undisclosed. The 74-year-old Leon Black is worth an estimated $13.6 billion. About $6.6 billion comes from art, cash, and investments, while $7 billion reflects his Apollo stake. In 2021, Apollo released a report by Decker LLP finding that Black paid Epstein $158 million between 2012 and 2017 for tax, estate, and asset planning advice, an unusually large sum for such services. Black's art holdings and Epstein's role in managing them have long drawn scrutiny. The Decker report, which found no wrongdoing by Black, noted that Epstein's work extended beyond conventional tax matters into Blacks' most valuable assets, including artwork.
Okay. So I want to say to the Deckard Institute, who did the research, who said there was no wrongdoing. Connections.
Mm-hmm.
Connection, big ones.
Huge cover-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, because we do saying that he was not involved with any of Epstein's criminal activities. I mean, there's actual proof of stuff in the documents. And to say that they did an investigation and found nothing, I don't believe that at all. I just don't.
Jen, can I ask you, does it at
Sure.
all with you, like how you were saying you are not fast to believe just anything. You need to see some
Right.
type of proof or something. And that for you, like just saying this person we had a connection, you would need to see something. Where is your line in that with how much of a connection? Is it based off of that or just strictly like what type of connection?
Well, there's a certain group of people that is, they're subsets of these people for me.
Mhm.
And people who were hanging out with him at the island and after his arrest in Florida, right? That doesn't mean they did anything wrong still, but they go higher on the list for me. People who were
Or
hanging out
they
with him
just-
before that may not have known.
Right. So having knowledge or should have knowledge of.
And they didn't
after-
care.
Yeah. Okay. So question then on that. What about Banfield? Even though what I've seen, at least, it was just one quick email, very short, not anything.
She had the hots for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wanted to go out with him, and knowing, I mean, that was after.
That's what I was saying. Is that
Yeah.
after? So even though the connection doesn't seem as though, just off what we know, doesn't look like she actually did make contact with him specifically, just attempted to. But because it's after that time, it's like
It's weird,
like
right?
Right.
Yeah, and I wouldn't like. She is a different category. Again, it's not that I think she did anything wrong or she was part of any of this. I don't believe that at all. But what kind of person
right
goes after someone known for this?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And people can always say, "Oh, I didn't know." Bullshit. I'm sorry, and she's a reporter.
Exactly.
There's no way that she didn't know.
Yep.
But oh God, I'm so sorry. I thought I turned it off, and
earbud warning. Okay, ladies, I'm sorry. I have to be house mom because we're just a little bit over time, which Nunya's not going to beat any of us up because of that. But we really need to continue this another time. Really,
God,
really.
Yeah, this is just barely scratching the surface. Barely.
Oh, yeah, this is yeah. Oh, we got 69 likes. If you haven't liked, please make sure to do so because we need to get the channel in the algorithm. Go ahead and share this out.
Oh, that good.
So that Tanya? She had a family. Yeah, she was called away right quick, and then Soup was called away, so that's why I'm here.
I'm glad you got to come. I hate missing Soup, but I'm glad you're here.
I know. Well, she's much funnier than me, but so.
Oh my God, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, she is. Our next episode is going to be on Tuesday, March 24th.
2026. Don't forget the year.
Oh, sorry, March 20th. I know, because we all time travel so much.
Yeah.
So for those of you that were planning on the 24th of March for 1986, no, this one is March 24th, 2026, from 7 to 9 p.m. and that's Eastern Daylight Time. Thank you so much for coming. And anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Anything that. I mean, I would love, because I know Tracy's done a lot of research and so has MJ. I'm sure other people have too. I would love for us to have a specific conversation about this. Yeah.
Well, even Bethany was saying here that they use art to launder money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Painting. See, like,
There's
okay,
all
there,
kind of
back
little
to the
scams in there. Yep.
Artwork and real estate and all kinds of
Oh, real
stuff.
estate's a big one.
Yeah.
Big one.
Mm.
And then there's the
Oh.
Alexander Brothers too. I almost did it on the Alexander Brothers tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they tied to Epstein as well. Real estate. Mm-hmm. All the things.
Crazy.
All the red flags.
I love this, the new conspiracy theory that Erica Kirk is tied to Epstein in real estate. Boom.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I did hear that from Candace Owens. Yeah.
You guys will have to come back.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, boo-boos. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it so
much. Thanks, everybody.
Come see us again on Tuesday. And replay crew, make sure to like. You know, if you can hype it, do it, because we're almost at 1,000 subscribers already.
Yay!
And this is what our seventh go.
Yeah,
Still working out some of the kinks and the wrinkles, but I think it's going good. I'm really enjoying it, and I love hearing from all the different people. And we're going to be inviting some testosterone in. Going to be getting some guy hosts. So come back, enjoy with us. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, and we will be watching the comments afterward too. So if you guys have any questions or a correction or anything like that, we'll be paying attention. So
yes,
we'll get
and
back
tell
to
me
you.
if you can separate the art from the artist, or the content from their personal life, or their personal beliefs, bigger, stronger beliefs on things, from their music, or from their artistry in general. Is it cool to get up on a platform because they've got a large platform and put their beliefs out there? Let us know.
Yes. And any questions or comments about autism?
Go to Grandma Sherry's for sure for her content. Oh, yes.
These were great conversations tonight, guys. To me, I enjoyed it very much.
I really enjoyed it. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to hit the leave button, okay?
Okay. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Love you so much.
Bye.
Thanks for the conversation and for keeping it respectful. Oh, and shout out to the replay crew. See you next time.
Hard days you stayed, pulled up, listen, organ clean, kept distance. You could have dipped, you chose to build. We kept it sharp, but we kept it chill. No cheap shots, just real views. Iron on iron, still cool. So thank you for being here. Thank you for talking clear.